Hi, welcome to the part 9 of GCP Associate Cloud Engineer. If you have not yet subscribed, do so. There are 1,000 plus videos on certifications, intermediate, entry level, advanced. So let us delve into depth of this question. You are having one GCP account, okay, and there is another account in a non-default region. So you have basically two accounts, one in default region and zone, the other in non-default region and zone. And what you want to do is start a compute engine in these two accounts using command line. What should you do? We have summarized the problem: two GCP accounts, one in default, one in non-default region. You create a compute instance in both using a command line interface, gcloud. Let us understand the gcloud command. The gcloud config configuration, we use create name, activate name. So activate name switches to the specified configuration, and list. It lists available configurations, so on. So option A is correct in this case. Why? Because you are giving an option to create two configurations using gcloud configurations, create name, that is using this one, which is correct. This is what you should be using. And then you are running this configuration activate name to switch between accounts, because there are two accounts. You have to switch when running the commands to start a compute engine instance. This is correct because you can separate the configurations for each account and then activate the appropriate one before creating the instance. But let us also look at why option B is incorrect. B is saying I will use two configurations using gcloud config create name, but in this case, the second one they are telling we will use list. This is incorrect because if you try to use list, it only lists configurations. It does not activate them. Because you have to activate them, because people are telling you in this question, we want to run the instance. So you have to activate it, and you are not able to do that. That is why this answer is wrong. See, the problem here is you're not talking about creation. You're telling I will straight away go and activate it. Okay. But you are not talking about using the uh, create name configuration. So that will not work because you can't activate configurations that don't exist. First you create it. Once it exists, then you can activate it. First create, then activate. Create, then activate. Here, this will not work because you are directly activating. The other thing, activate two configurations using gcloud configurations. Again, they are activating it directly. They are not using create, and then they are trying to list the configuration. This will not work because you have to first create, okay, and then you can activate. That is the basic rule. So option A is correct. We have explicitly explained you why this option is correct, because you first have to create and then activate. Okay, option 2. You significantly changed a complex deployment management template and want to confirm that the dependencies of all defined resources are properly met before committing to the project. You want the most rapid feedback of your changes. What should you do? I'm not explaining this in detail, but this is the answer. You need to execute the deployment manager with this option and observe the state of interdependent resources. Okay, this is the next one. You have a project for your app engine application that serves a deployment environment. Okay, the required testing has succeeded. Testing is successful. Now, what you have to do? If the testing is successful, what the hell you have to do? You want to create a new project to serve as your production environment. What should you do? So, you were developing it. Your testing is executed properly. Now you have to set a production environment. So, detailed requirement development project. You have a app engine application in the development project. Have you done the testing first before you talk about production? Have you done that testing? Yes, boss, you have done the testing. The application has been tested. Now what you have to do? You want to create a new project to serve as production. That is the requirement, and you want to do it efficiently. You want to deploy the application efficiently to the new project. Because say first thing, you create a production project. Second, the application that you created, now you have to move it here. There are two activities. First, create the project, then move the application. Create the project, move the application. So the thing is, you use a gcloud to create the new project, and then you deploy your application to new project. What is the pro of this? This is a standard and recommended workflow. So you can create a project that separates production environment from dev. This is exactly what you want. See, you have a dev box, you have a production box. Have two separate environments, okay? Do not mix these two together. Have two separate environments. Exactly. This is the best practice. Now you deploy the application to the new project, ensure a clean and consistent production environment. So you move the application now. So there are no cons in this. This is a correct answer and this is a standard work. Why B is not correct? Because here the first thing they use G Cloud to create the new project, which is okay, but and to copy the deployed application to the new project. So the con of this, I'll tell you the con of this, G Cloud doesn't have a direct copy deployed application command. You cannot use it for copy. Second, copying deployed artifacts directly might introduce inconsistencies or dependence from the development environment. So there are certain code pieces which your code was dependent on other code. That that dependencies will, it will be inconsistent because those dependencies were in the dev box. In the production box also, you have to create those dependencies. That is why this is an incorrect command first, and it will have a potential problematic approach. This approach is not good. This is not a best practice. See, you should do what best practice suggests. You should wake up in the morning, sleep early in the night. That is the best practice. But if you are waking up till late in the night and then waking up in the morning, like sleeping late, waking up late in the morning, then that is not good. That is not the best practice. So this option is like that option. Now she is telling we will create deployment manager configuration file that copies current app engine into new project. Boss, deployment manager is suitable for managing infrastructure resources. Like for example, you want to create compute, you want to add scale up something. Okay, this is not good for. In this case, what are you doing? You are moving from dev to prod. What are you moving? You are moving app. Okay, you are not moving infrastructure. You are moving app. So this is not for copying application deployments. It is an unnecessary complex solution for this task. That is our recommendation. Now, what is the problem with D? You deploy your application again using G Cloud, but you are specifying a project parameter with new project name to create the new project. Cons. So this option will not work. Why it will not work? Boss, why it will not work? Because this option suggests that the project will be created automatically by G Cloud app deployment, which is incorrect. It is not created automatically. Second, you need to create the project first separately before deploying the application. So this is a incorrect workflow. This will not work because this is not the best practice. This is incorrect workflow. So we have given a clear explanation. First, you create a new project that provides a clean and isolated environment for the production box. Second, once that environment is created, you deploy the application to the new project. This ensures that the production environment is running the latest and tested version of your code. Okay, you want the latest code there. And is this the standard process that Google recommends? Yes, boss. This is the standard process. So option A would be our final answer in this case. You use G Cloud to create the new project first. First, create the project and then deploy your application in the new project. So if you have not yet subscribed, do so. It will help you with certifications. There are 1,000+ videos on this channel. If you're serious about cloud certifications, intermediate, entry level, advanced certifications, all are there. Become a cloud kernel member. This will help you with gaining access. You can gain access to a lot of questions which are important for certifications. It elevates your chances of clearing the certification. Okay, this brings us to the end of part 9. We will keep posting many more such parts. The previous parts are in the Cloud Kernel group. You can become a member of that and gain access to that. See you in the next part.